Star Wars The Last Jedi is a solid film. It isn't the best, yes, but the highs of this movie are so incredibly amazing, epic, insane that it like overweighs a lot of the bad stuff in my opinion. In my opinion, I do know that there's a lot of people that seem to not like this movie very much, and I'll get into that a bit later. Right now, I just want to talk about my spoiler-free little section here now. I'll probably put up like a timeline right here, right, saying when I'll get into spoilers, whatever, right? So overall, this movie had some amazing action, right? The action in this film was pretty stinking solid. Keeps me on the edge of my seat. It's exciting. It's awesome. There's a really cool chase scene in there. A lot of great space battles too. This is probably some of the best space battles in Star Wars. You see a lot of cool stuff on the island with Rey and Luke, and I think that's probably the highlight of the movie in my opinion, is seeing Rey and Luke on the island, seeing their chemistry grow and stuff like that. Seeing how Luke lives on this island for the past however many years, I feel is pretty interesting. There is this one sequence in the movie that revolves around Finn and the new character named Rose, which I feel kind of drags a little bit. Every time you cut to this part where they're doing some spoilery stuff, right? Every time it cuts back to Finn and Rose, I'm kind of sit in my chair and go, okay, here we go, right? The performances I feel are pretty good too, or like Daisy Ridley or John Boyega. I feel like a lot of people say that they act kind of wooden and kind of stilted, but I don't know. I didn't really see it. I don't mind it all that much, but I do have to say Mark Hamill as Luke Skywalker is probably gives his best performance in this movie. He is so broken and so just tired of it. Some of the reveals, there is this one. Okay, you'll know what I'm talking about when you see this movie, but there's this one part that either you'll absolutely love or you'll really, really hate. In my opinion, it's my favorite part of the movie, this section here. It happens about 2/3 of the way through, and it's really cool. It's really cool. I'll just say that much. But I know a lot of other people think that this part is awful and terrible, right? But I absolutely love it. It's stinking cool. Okay, spoiler talk here. There's this really stupid part, right? Very beginning, when Kylo Ren's about to blow up, right? He's about to blow up his mom, but he doesn't. And the TIE fighters come and they blow up the bridge, and Leia dies. Leia dies, right? And then a few minutes later, they cut back to Leia in space, and she turns into Superman and starts floating in space. Like, that didn't make a whole lot of sense. I don't get where that's coming from, honestly. She's force sensitive now? Maybe? We're not entirely sure. When I was talking about the one part in the movie that drags, right, and every time it cuts to it with Finn and Rose, I'm talking about the Canto Bite scene. The Canto Bite scenes at the casino. They drag the movie to a crawl sometimes. I'm just saying that I would rather have more of Rey and have more of Luke and stuff like that. But now we're cutting back here and we're getting this uninteresting subplot where they're just kind of rolling around this casino looking for the Master Code Breaker. Now, I'm just gonna come out and say it right here. There is no epic, huge lightsaber duel in the movie. I feel like that's actually for the better because it subverts your expectations. Okay, you start off the scene with Luke Skywalker, right, walking out of the Resistance like base, right? Kylo Ren gets so angry, right? Kylo Ren looks down. He's like, "Focus all your guns on that man down there." And for a solid 30 to 45 seconds, all on Luke Skywalker, and he's like, General Hux looking at him. He's like, "You think we got him?" And out of the smoke, dude, Luke's just standing there, and he looks up and he goes. And that was like, oh, dude, that got a big cheer out of the audience I was with. It was awesome. But when he, yeah, but now that leads to the final confrontation between Kylo Ren and Luke, and you think they're about to have a huge duel, but Luke doesn't give Kylo Ren that satisfaction of actually fighting him, and dodges every single attack, and then reveals that he wasn't even there in the first place. I feel this will make a lot of people angry. I know, right? But I feel that this was actually pretty clever from Luke, because he's never gonna ever give Kylo Ren the satisfaction of fighting him or killing him. Because right after this, Luke dies. Right? And I knew I had a prediction Luke was gonna die walking into the movie, but I didn't know it was gonna be like this. I feel like that scene was pretty well done. When I was talking about pretty interesting space battles, I was mainly referring to the very beginning space battle with Poe Dameron taking on the Dreadnought by himself. I feel like that was a really cool scene. It was action packed. It was fun. It was everything like that, right? And it was just cool to see such a very like huge space battle. And the one bomber like blowing up the entire Dreadnought was like pretty awesome. Okay, now I'm gonna talk about one thing that leads into another thing, right? When I talked about the moment that my heart like stopped about 2/3 of the way through the movie because it was just so freaking cool. I was talking about the moment that Kylo Ren murdered Snoke, right? Kylo Ren is sitting in his throne, sitting in his. Okay, so Kylo. Okay, so he's sitting in his throne, right? He's sitting like this, and he goes, okay. So then Kylo Ren, he's like standing behind. He's got his. He goes, and he goes slowly, and then it's like, and he cuts behind him, and he goes, and Snoke got cut in half just like that. Now, I am willing to bet that nobody saw that coming. I didn't see it coming. But the audience I was with obviously didn't see it coming either. That got a huge applause out of them too. I feel like that was extremely satisfying because I feel like Snoke was one of the weaker parts of The Force Awakens. And that brings me to why I feel Snoke dying was a good idea. Snoke is an old evil guy that sits in a chair in a cloak and is extremely powerful. Okay. The Emperor is an old evil guy that's extremely powerful and sits on a throne with a cloak. He is the exact same as the Emperor. And I don't get how people are angry that he's dead, because now Kylo Ren gets to take him over. What would you rather have? Would you rather have Darth Sidious again? Or would you rather have a conflicted villain who is regretful about like all the things he's done and is just an interesting character overall? I know I would rather pick Kylo Ren as a main villain of Episode 9 and the rest of Episode 8 he was in. Snoke, I just feel, wasn't that interesting. He was just bad guy. Snoke was just bad guy, and it wasn't really. It was great seeing Yoda as a puppet again and not a CGI abomination, like terrible, awful, no good, very bad Green Man. And he was like the sassy, like sarcastic Yoda from Episode 5. And I love the scene where Luke is like, "Oh man, it's the ancient Jedi texts, man. We can't burn them down." And Yoda looked at him and he says, "I read them, have you? Page turners, they are not." And that was funny. That was funny. And he like blows up the entire Jedi temple by just like, and goes and blows up the temple. And I feel like that was cool. His parents are, right? And I knew all along they're nobodies, right? I was telling all my friends this. I was telling all my friends this, right? I'm going, man, Rey's parents, who could they be? They're not Skywalkers, that'd be too obvious. Kenobi's make no freaking sense, right? It would just be interesting if she was just an all-new character and cool and stuff like that. If you aren't looking for every minute flaw in the movie, you're gonna have a fun time. It's an entertaining film. Because I am a sweaty nerd that sucks at everything he does, including YouTube, right? My personal enjoyment of it, that was like 11 out of 10. This was probably one of the best times I've ever had seeing a movie ever. I don't know, I guess that's all I have to say, really. I gotta edit this huge 31-minute stinking clip now here.